Good evening, you're watching the news from the Sultanate of Oman television. First, the headlines. His Majesty Sultan Haitham bin Tariq issues 3 royal decrees. The Ministry of Oil and Gas signs new oil agreements to increase the reserve and production rate in the Sultanate. Oman Investment Authority announced the achievements of the best performance in 40 years for some of the Sultanate's investments and plans to review the role of government companies. The investments volume in Salalah Free Zone exceeds 3.3 billion Omani riyals during the first half of 2020. And the Ministry of Health announces 10 deaths of COVID-19 and new 1,072 confirmed cases. Those were the headlines, and now the news in detail. His Majesty Sultan Haitham bin Tariq issues 3 royal decrees. Royal Decree number 69/2020 on appointing Chairman of the Supreme Court. Article 1 appoints Sayyid Khalifa bin Saeed bin Khalifa al-Busaidi as the Chairman of the Supreme Court. Article 2. This decree shall be published in the Official Gazette and shall come into force from the date of its issue. Royal Decree number 70/2020 on appointing Chairman of the Administrative Judicature Court. Article 1 appoints Sheikh Al-Mukhtar bin Abdullah bin Isa Al-Harthi as the Chairman of the Administrative Judicature Court. Article 2. This decree shall be published in the Official Gazette and shall come into force from date of its issue. Royal Decree number 71/2020 on appointing Under Secretary of the Ministry of Finance. Article 1 appoints Abdullah bin Salim bin Abdullah Al-Harthi as the Secretary of the Ministry of Finance. Article 2. This decree shall be published in the Official Gazette and shall come into force from the date of its issue. His Majesty Sultan Haitham bin Tariq sent a cable of greetings to His Excellency President Othman Ghazali of the Comoros on his country's National Day. His Majesty the Sultan also sent a cable of greetings to His Excellency President Lazarus Chakwera of Malawi on his country's independence anniversary. The Ministry of Oil and Gas signed a new oil agreement for the concession block number 58 for an area of 4,557 square kilometers. The agreement stipulates that the Teats Oil Kalbat Limited Company is committed to conduct a seismic survey and a number of geological and geophysical studies, as well as drilling a number of exploration wells. The agreement was signed by His Excellency Dr. Mohammed bin Hamid Al-Rumhi, Minister of Oil and Gas, and by the company Deputy Manager. Oman Investment Authority announced the achievement for the best performance in 40 years for some of the Sultanate's investments, which registered 9.5% over the past year. This was announced by the Director General of Economic Diversification Investments of the authority, Sheikh Nasser bin Sulaiman Al-Harthi, who added that there are plans to review the role of government companies in line with the Oman Vision 2040. The Oman Investment Authority was established in June by a royal decree stipulating that the specializations, allocations, rights, records, assets and investments related to the State General Reserve Fund and the Omani Investment Fund and the Directorate General of Investment in the Ministry of Finance and the ownership of all companies and government investments will be transferred to it, except for the Petroleum Development of Oman, the government's contributions to international institutions and the companies for which an order is issued by His Majesty the Sultan. In an effort to maximize the benefits and achieve economic developments, Oman Investment Authority is studying to merge some companies, liquidating or allocating others, or achieving integration among them while studying how to improve the performance and to distribute annual profit to the authority in line with the new stage that requires preserving public money. The Oman Fisheries Development Company translated merger efforts under the umbrella of Oman Investment Authority, drawing an economic investment dimension that derives its pillars from strong capital and its ability to purchase fishing vessels and invest in particular projects, which gives confidence in investors to enter into local partnership or with owners companies seeking to enter Sultanate's market. The Sultanate's strategic location owns in competitive advantage for wider investment in various activities that enhance the multiplication of domestic and foreign investments in order to increase its contribution to the gross domestic product. Oman Development Bank starts today to receive applications for beneficiaries of Emergency Loans Program, which aims to help the most affected segments of COVID-19 pandemic. It is expected that over 25,000 male and female entrepreneurs will benefit from this program. More details in the following report by Saleh bin Khalfan Al-Rahbi.
In implementation of the royal orders of His Majesty Sultan Haytham bin Tariq, may Allah protect him, to adopt a program of interest-free emergency loans to help the segments most affected by corona pandemic, Oman Development Bank began receiving requests for this service in its various branches around the Sultanate. The interest-free emergency loan program offers financial facilities to beneficiaries with a repayment period of 48 months, of which 6 months is a grace period. This program is particularly intended for both male and female entrepreneurs, especially holders of Riyada card for SMEs and those who work for their own businesses, as well as beneficiaries of Oman Development Bank loans and a raft fund. It is expected that 25,000 male and female entrepreneurs will benefit from the program, and it will contribute to compensating the losses and recovering businesses affected by the epidemic, so that the wheel of the Omani economy will continue to grow and prosper. It is worth mentioning that the Supreme Committee dealing with COVID-19 stipulated the implementation of the emergency loans program to Oman Development Bank in coordination with the relevant parties, such as the Public Authority for Small and Medium Enterprises Development Riyada and a raft fund. For the Sultanate of Oman Television, Saleh bin Khalfan Al-Rahbi.
Still to come in our news bulletin. The hot dog eating competition took place this year even under the coronavirus pandemic situation. Welcome back to the news from the Sultanate of Oman Television. Salalah Free Zone in the Dhofar Governorate plans to attract local and international investments at a value of $20 billion through its upcoming strategic plan, which equals to 7.7 billion Omani Riyals. The investment at the zone during the half of 2020 reached around 3.3 billion Omani Riyals. A new investment map is being foreseen by Salalah Free Zone, which aims to achieve a number of goals which go in parallel with the 10th five-year development plan, strengthening the economic diversification policies. The Free Zone in Salalah enjoys a strategic location overlooking Arabian Sea, which links east and west, is considered unattractive and economic investment hub. The zone continues to conduct promotion campaigns in India, Turkey, Iran and South Africa and other international markets in order to attract investments, namely in the fields of logistics services, manufacturing industries and innovation-based industries. The number of investment agreements signed by Salalah Free Zone in the first half of 2020 reached 7, which brings the total number of agreements signed to 88. It is worth mentioning that the main project in Salalah Free Zone are Salalah Refinery projects of producing liquefied natural gas, Salalah Ammonia project, a food industries complex, and project of manufacturing solar panels. The Ministry of Health announced 1,072 new confirmed cases of COVID-19, which brings the total number registered in the Sultanate to 46,178, including 213 deaths. The Ministry of Health stresses that 27,917 cases have been recovered.
Back to work is a step of hope for the best to come. Here are the instructions that will protect you from coronavirus. Wear masks while leaving your house by following proper procedures. Keep a physical distance of at least 2 meters away from others. Follow the main hygienic procedures of washing or sanitizing hands from time to time. Avoid using elevators as much as possible, and if you have to use it, ensure less number of people to guarantee physical distance from one another. Gatherings at entrances, waiting rooms, offices, meeting halls and prayer places are forbidden. If you have any symptoms of the disease, immediately contact the bodies concerned specified by the Ministry of Health. By adhering to these instructions, it will assist you in preventing from contracting the COVID-19. Stay safe.
The Ministry of Health, represented by the Department of Women and Child Health and the Contact Center, launched a hotline for obstetrics and gynecology. More details in the following report by Saleh bin Khalfan Al-Rahbi.
Aiming to provide medical counseling for women of childbearing age as well as pregnant and breastfeeding women about health conditions that may not require them to visit the hospital amid COVID-19 pandemic, the Ministry of Health launched a hotline as a service dedicated for obstetrics and gynecology counseling.
The service provided by Ministry of Health in collaboration with the Oman Society of Obstetric and Gynecologists with support of World Health Organization and United Nations Population Fund to provide counseling and responding to queries to medical problems related to obstetric and gynecology, either related to COVID-19 or no. The service is available from 10 a.m. until 4 p.m. from Sunday to Thursday.
The counseling service also includes providing precautionary and preventive measures for women to protect them from the virus.
We do get such calls, and if it is really necessary for her to go, we direct her. In fact, sometimes we do call the health institute ourselves and arrange with them that such lady or such woman who is having this problem is coming to you. So in order, they'll prepare also how to get her and, to isolate her, to direct her to go a special area. And that is really, that scenario, we got it quite often.
A midwife is assigned as the focal point for this particular hotline service to answer the calls and, if necessary, links the callers to the relevant consultants or gynecologists.
Thank you, dear. Thank you for calling Ministry of Health Contact Center of Gynae Service. Have a nice day. all women in all over Oman, Omani or non-Omani, who are having any problem related to obs and gynae, they can call Ministry of Health Contact Center in 2441 or 1212 Ministry of Health Contact Center for obs and gynae service.
This initiative endeavors to reduce the burden on health facilities, especially with the spread of coronavirus, and to increase accessibility for women to get the medical advice and respond to their needs, particularly during such circumstances. For the Sultanate of Oman Television, Saleh bin Khalfan al-Rahbi, Muscat.
Iran today instituted mandatory mask wearing as fears mount over newly spiking reported deaths from the coronavirus, even as its public increasingly shrug over the danger of the COVID-19 illness it causes. The new rules require those in Tehran subway, riding buses or indoors to wear masks. Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei published an image of himself in a mask in recent days, urging both public officials and the Islamic Republic's 80 million people to wear them to stop the virus spread. The new rule mask is a turning point for Iran, which has struggled in trying to balance provisional lockdowns to contain the outbreak with the fears of stalling out an economy already struggling under U.S. sanctions. Deep flood waters and the risk of more mudslides that left at least 34 people confirmed or presumed dead hampered search and rescue operations today in southern Japan, including at an elderly home facilities where more than a dozen died and scores were still stranded. Large areas along the Kuma River were swallowed by floodwaters, with many houses, buildings and vehicles submerged almost up to the roofs. Dozens of people are still trapped in inundated areas waiting to be rescued. More than 40,000 defense troops and the Coast Guards and fire brigades were taking part in search for the rescue operation. Competitors have weighed in ahead of the annual hot dog eating contest in New York's Conway Island yesterday. Nathan's famous 4th of July International Hot Dog Eating Contest has occurred each July 4th in Coney Island since 1916. Champions Joy Chanitz and Amiki Suko successfully defended their titles to extend the dominance in the world's premier Hunger Game. Chestnut has won contest 12 of the last 13 years, while on the women's side, Sudo has been the X-time defending champion. Because of the coronavirus pandemic, this year's competition was not held at its traditional location in Coney Island, but rather at an undisclosed spectator-free location. This is the Sultanate of Oman Television. Before we end tonight's bulletin, here are the main points once again. His Majesty Sultan Haitham bin Tariq issues 3 royal decrees. The Ministry of Oil and Gas signs a new oil agreement to increase the reserve and the production rates in the Sultanate. Oman Investment Authority announced the achievements of the best performance in 40 years for some of the Sultan's investments and plans to review the role of government companies. The investments volume in Salalah Free Zone exceeds 3.3 billion Omani riyals during the first half of 2020. And the Ministry of Health announces 10 deaths of COVID-19, a new 1,072 confirmed cases. With that, we come to the end of tonight's news bulletin. From all of us here at the studios and the newsroom, it's good night.
يا أولادي،
يا بناتي، يا أولادي،
يا أولادي،
يا أهل بلادي،
إخواني الأعزاء،
بقائكم في البيت في هذه الفترة هو الأنسب والأفضل.
أقول لكم يا أولادي لا تطلعوا من البيت،
جلسوا في البيت، خليكم في البيت،
وعدم الخروج من المنازل إلا للضرورة.
وهذا كله لمصلحتكم، وأرواحكم غالية علينا وحياتكم ثمينة.
جلسوا عم تعذبونا بالمرض هذا،
حفاظا على النفس علينا وعليكم.
أرحموا شيابكم وأخوانكم وأولادكم.
إن كنتم تحبونا وتخافوا علينا لا تعرضونا وتعرضوا أرواحكم في الخطر.